Gonna want me to do the demo on this. And when the problem is doing an actual demo on it when you're actually painting is you're kind of in a little bit of a panic if this happens and you happen to get a run or you get a dry spot. You're kind of wanting to fix that right away. So I can't just stop and grab the camera and go and try and make a video of that because you want it to lay down and get it nice. So this is how to fix a dry spot. I'm also going to show you real quick how to fix a run in your clear coat while the paint's still wet. So I'm just going to run through when you finish your spray job, how to walk around and look for it real quick. A lot of people think, man, if you're a really good spray man, you never get runs, you never get orange peel. That's just not true. Um, More often I will probably get runs than orange peel because I'd rather sand out a run than have orange peel. So usually what I'll do is I'll put on a really bright light, and obviously this car's already done. Either use a really bright flashlight like this, or I'll use a drop light or halogen light or something, and walk around the car and look for runs and orange peel. So you just got done spraying, you're done spraying the car, and you walk around right now and you're going to look around the car for orange peel, runs, or anything like that. And because you want to try and, or dry spots, because that's what I'm going to talk to you guys about, how to fix those dry spots right now while the paint's wet. So you walk around the whole car and you look with your light, checking everything out really carefully and just kind of looking for anything that came down while you're painting. Because if you're painting in a garage, you can't really see very good. So sometimes, having that extra light, at the very end, or even if you're in a booth, you still do a walk around at the end. So let's say right here, for some reason, I was spraying and I stopped too early and I have a little dry spot right here. First, what you're going to need to do is you're going to analyze how dry it is. Like if it's a complete miss or a really super air, maybe you missed it twice. If it's really super dry, you're going to, while the paint's still, while before it's dry, you're going to want to spray that area real, again, just real lightly. Maybe turn your gun down to, say, one turn out and kind of mist a little bit on there slowly and kind of build it up to where it'll blend in. But you'll have a dry edge all the way around that. So this part might blend in pretty nice or a little bit better than it did, and you'll have a dry edge. Or sometimes you'll just have where it's just a little bit heavier orange peel than the rest of the car, and you want to smooth that out. So what you always want to have is some of this Universal Clear blender. This isn't necessarily the brand to have. This one's super expensive. I think this one's like $30 a spray can. But this will last for a long time. You can have this laying around. They have that Spray Max brand, and it's pretty good, and it's a lot less expensive, maybe 10 or 12 bucks, 15 bucks, I don't know. I haven't bought it in a while. But so you need some Universal Clear blender in a spray can. And so what you're going to do, and you have to be very careful with this stuff, is if you put on too much, you'll have a giant run. I mean, the stuff will just re-wet that clear and it'll start running right away. So you want to so if this area here is just your only dry spot and it's just a little bit dry and you want to try and smooth it out, then what you'll do is you'll use this stuff and just kind of spray right here on this area, on just that one area, and just put a really light coat on, and then take your spray gun. The reason I use the spray gun is just because it has the less volume of air than an air blower. You don't want to kick up any dust or anything. And just pull the trigger to the first part where just the air is coming out, and just kind of just blow air over it. Blow air over it while it's after you spray that stuff on. Because if you don't blow the air on it, sometimes it'll melt in there and it'll just keep going. It'll just start running. So You just kind of blow some air on it, and then kind of look at it at an angle, look around, kind of check at an angle, and see that you've gotten rid of that. See if that dry spot goes away after about a minute or two. And then if it doesn't go away after 2 minutes or so of blowing air, then you want to do it again. So then you take this stuff here, again, as you just spray a little mist coat wherever it's dry. Sometimes it'll be dry further out. You just kind of spray a little, just a real mist, just that's it. Don't put too much on, and do the same thing again. Get the air, blow it on there. This is while your paint's still wet, so you do it like that. And you just let that until it flows out and you can't see it. It'll go away. Now, if for some reason it's way too dry and you don't have enough material on there, you can kind of, you have to kind of get good at looking at it and figuring out, whoa, shoot, I don't think I even got that whole area. Then what you want to do is take your clear and spray it on there, spray it on that area again. You know, like I said, I would turn it down to a 1 and go really kind of slow and just kind of mist it up slowly and watch the orange peel on that area to make sure it kind of smooths out. And then do the same thing with this product, but not spray over the area where it was done, but around it. You're going to have a little bit of a ring because this material is too dry and it's not going to flow into it. If you can stop, sometimes it's dry enough at that point and it'll just flow into it. So you have to kind of look at it and figure out whether it's going to flow in. If it doesn't flow in, then you just take this product here and you just spray around it, a ring around it, where it's blending back into this other clear that's almost dry. Now, if you wait too long and you want to do this right away, right after you're done spraying your last coat, you walk around it and check it. Start checking it within maybe 2 minutes or 3 minutes of your final coat. And so if you wait too long to do this, you could end up with something called a wrinkle. So you really don't want to wait like an hour and start trying to do this stuff. You want to do it within that first 10 minutes, depending on the air, depending on temperature, depending on the dryness of the air, depends on a lot of things. So you got to kind of feel that out and know when the right time to do it is. It's usually right away. If you wait too long, you're going to find out that you're going to have a problem, and then you'll know what I'm talking about when you have that problem, because you'll try and blend it, and then this paint's already catalyzing, and it may want to take that paint back off, and it may just start to wrinkle. So you want to, again, like I said, you want to do this right when you're done. The last thing you do when you're done spraying is you walk the car, you go all the way around it, start looking, start finding stuff. And I'm also going to show you right now how sometimes to fix a run. If you got a real heavy one that looks pretty nasty and it looks like it's going to be a lot of work to sand out, sometimes you're going to want to either run it off or you're going to want to flow it to a different spot. There's a lot of reasons. Like say I've got a run right here next to this line. It's a lot easier to fix it if it's over here than it is if it's right here. Okay, if it's right on that line, it's hard to fix. So I'm just giving you an example. Sometimes you're going to want to run away from that area or move it away and then fix it, because it's a lot easier, or you want to minimize it. So let's say it's just a little tiny thing. Sometimes you're going to want to get rid of that little bit and make it a little bit easier to sand in that corner so you can fix it when you're done. Let me show you that real quick. So again, like I said, while you're done with your paint, you just finished spraying the car. You're going to walk around it. You're looking for stuff. You're looking for your flaws. You're going to fix your flaws, as many of them as you can, while the material's still wet. That's a time to fix a lot of them. Sometimes you'll look at it and you go, nah, I think that I'm better off leaving that one. I can probably sand that out pretty easily, or I can take a razor blade and knock down my run. There's a lot of videos on that online, but none are really on this particular subject. So what I'll do is I'll pull off a piece of tape like this. Let me see if I got my stand for my camera so I can show you. So what I'll do is I'll take a piece of tape like this, Usually won't use a 1.5 inch tape. Usually I'll use a 3/4 inch piece of tape because I want to do as least amount of damage to the area as possible. Put it in 2 fingers like this, and I'll lay it on. Let's say there's a run right here. Let's see if you can see that. Okay, there's a run right here, and I want to pull that run off. So what I'll do is I'll use my tape, and even sometimes I'll loop it a little bit. I'll try and do as little damage as possible, and I'll actually take tape and pull that run off, and then take another piece, do 2 or 3 pieces of tape, 4 pieces of tape, take that run off. Then I'll do the same thing. I'll take the spray gun, mist a little bit of paint, mist a little bit of clear on there. If I end up with a ring around the area, I'll blend it in with the reducer, with the blending pennant. And so when you're all done, I mean, people think when you're a good painter, you never make mistakes. That's not true. I mean, everybody does it. So now the issue that you might have to worry about with this is if you've got a metallic paint, you want to be really careful. And sometimes this happens, and you end up having to retouch the area. Sometimes it'll actually smear the metallics underneath when you do that. So it all depends on the clear you're using, the base coat you're using, and sometimes it'll cause a little bit of issue with the metallics. 99% of the time, it doesn't. But I'm saying that because if you have that one situation, and then you have to spot and blend your area. So, and sometimes you're going to have to do that anyway because you're trying to scrape the runoff, and you end up going through, and you end up, doing that later anyway. So, it's better just to know that in advance and try to fix some of those flaws ahead of time. And getting good at figuring out which ones you can fix while the clear's still wet and which ones you can fix after the clear dries takes some, practice and time and getting to know what you did. And then some of them you can just color sand out. You'll be like, I think I can just color sand it out easy. Sometimes I get one that's really lumpy, and I just don't want to have to color sand that much. So I'll, or it's in an area where it's, like I said, it's a more difficult area. So sometimes you look at one, you go, that's not really a bad area. I can, like if it was in this area right here, even if I had to spot and blend that, it wouldn't be hard to fix, okay? But if it was like in the middle of a door, it might be a little bit harder to spot and blend. Of course, you couldn't really do that. But it might be easy to just sand out. So you kind of walk around, look at the car, and figure out which ones that you want to fix while it's still wet. Because sometimes fixing it while it's still wet, sometimes I've actually done it and actually had the flaw be completely gone. Yeah, I remember I did on this car right here. For some reason, I got heavy going down right here, and I had a big fat run right along here, and it was because spraying with the deck lid on the car upward, I was getting a little bit of a bounce, and you almost have to, instead of spraying straight at it, I should have had my gun at an angle, a 45-degree angle like this. And what that does is gets more material on the area where you're spraying, so that you almost end up with a too dry out here, too dry down here, and then the middle is heavy. But if you turn it 45 it and go around some of those corners and edges, it seems to, like if you're spraying right here, you don't always want to be spraying like this. You want to be spraying a little bit out of a 45. So, and I got a little bit of a run going right here. So, because I didn't put enough material below it. So all I did was, while the material was still wet, I sprayed a little bit underneath it, and the run flowed right back in, and actually went away. You couldn't even see it. That's the way it was when I was done. Just I color sanded and buffed this car, but there really wasn't much to color sand out in this area. It was like super smooth, perfect. So I'm just telling you guys a couple of little things that you're learning. When you're learning how to spray, sometimes it's better to try and fix those flaws while the paint's still wet, and just a couple ways to do it. Talk to you in the next video. Please like, share, and subscribe.